Good afternoon, everyone. My name is John O'Mara, and today I will be guiding all of the tutors through how to use our Zoom web conferencing software. This software is an excellent chance for both students and tutors to engage virtually through submersing themselves in their respective material. And while, of course, there are hardly any suitable substitutes for face-to-face interaction with the student, it is of my opinion that if we are able to avail of all of the features that this software offers, that we can make this as cohesive and engaging an experience as possible. So in order to begin, we must first download this Zoom software. So in order to do that, all that we have to do is initially we must go to our web browser, and we're going to have to type in zoom.us/support/download. And so then we'll click enter, and Zoom happened to recognize that I'm personally using a Mac. Of course, if you are not using a Mac, it will immediately recognize that you're using a PC and download the appropriate software package for your respective device. If you are operating on a mobile device, such as an iPhone, an Android, any sort of tablet, there is a native application that's offered in the App Store. It's available in the Apple App Store, Google Play. It's available virtually across any device you wish to use. One good thing to keep in mind is that on virtual devices, there are many limitations to the actual capabilities of the software. For example, on a mobile device, you're not able to record your sessions directly from the app itself. Your only option in that case, hypothetically in that specific scenario, would be to record your screen from your actual device's capabilities. So now that we've downloaded our package, we can see this large blue arrow. We have Zoom. Normally it wouldn't have that number 3. I've just downloaded it many times. We have zoom.package, PKG. I'm not going to click on it because I already have this installed, and it'll unfortunately end this session if I do. But all we'd have to do is click on this. You'd be prompted with a menu asking if you trust this software. We will click trust. This is an incredibly reputable software, very reputable company. And once we have that installed, we'll be in a position to immediately start our actual session. So once you've availed of that, we will actually be presented with this screen right here, this sign up screen. So once we have this, if you already have an existing account, we can simply sign in with our email and our password right here, or rather, you could sign in with Google or Facebook if you have created an account already, or we could simply sign up for free. So sign up for free will prompt you to either sign up with your own standalone email, which is what I've personally done. You could also sign up with Google, sign up with Facebook, sign up with an SSO, any way you wish to tether your account with any of your respective email addresses or any of your respective social media accounts. So once we've signed up, entered our email, our password, it will then send a confirmation email to whatever email is associated with either whatever you've directly typed in or any social media account you've used. We will then just go to our inbox, we'll press accept, and I can actually show you virtually what that would look like. So let me just go to my actual Zoom emails. I'm sure I have it somewhere in here. So it'll look just like this. Please activate your Zoom account. So here, all you have to do is click activate account right there, or paste this into your browser. I would recommend clicking activate account because that'll direct it right back to the actual application that we've installed. And then once we've done that, we'll move past this screen and we will be presented with this opening screen right here. So here we have a number of features that are being offered. So new meeting allows us to create our own standalone meeting before we've actually met with anybody yet. Join allows us to join an existing chat, which we will hardly be availing of that since we will be the ones that are initiating these chats. Schedule is a great feature that I very much enjoy. I haven't used it much, but it is an excellent tool if a lot of this scheduling becomes very, very hectic and out of hand. Scheduling acts as a standalone calendar that allows you to enumerate all of your individual sessions, where you can add the email address of the student that you intend to meet with, and when it's within a relatively soon time frame of when you're supposed to meet, it will send a reminder email to both yourself and the student involved that it's almost time for our tutoring session. Additionally, we have an option here to share our screen. There is a nicer location for us to actually do that, which I will show you in just a moment, but that is an option here for us to share our screen so that the student can see everything that's on our screen, just as you can see everything on my screen right now. So once we've gone through that, that is what we will initially be presented with. From there, to respect the privacy of my students, I will not click on this button, but we will have a chat option, a chat menu. That is simply for instant messaging between any of your students who might be having trouble setting up the software. They're just not sure how to proceed with any given step that they're at. So you'd be able to correspond with them directly if you have any issues with the actual video or audio. From there, we can go to our meetings. And so what we're initially prompted with are any recorded meetings. So recorded meetings are simply chats that you've had where we've selected the record option, which I'll show you where that is in just a moment. And it's a great way to keep logs of not only all the sessions that you have had in the past, but it also gives you a chance to go back and look through and see exactly where you left off with a particular student, what material you precisely covered, and maybe what you feel might be the strengths and weaknesses of that session that you can improve on going forward, or just use as a resource to assign appropriate homework going forward, which is what I love to use it for. We also have upcoming meetings, which is directly below this box where you see personal meeting ID would be all of our scheduled meetings if we were to avail of that external calendar option. And here we have a personal meeting ID. So this personal meeting ID, if we were to go to that initial opening screen and click new meeting, one option that the students have is that they would be able to simply enter your personal meeting ID when prompted, and they would be able to join right onto your open conference without anything one-on-one at the moment. That being said, that's not the ideal way to schedule a meeting, but I'll show you the ideal way to actually schedule one. And then here, we're gonna have all of our contacts. So our contacts are going to be listed here. We have external right here. That's going to be the main list of your contacts. I'm not going to open it up for the privacy of my students, but if we were to click on that, we'd have the names of all of your students, and we can immediately go over to, we could click on one of their names and we'd be presented with a number of options listed at the top. One option is meet. So if you and your student have already created each other's mutual contact, all you have to do in order to set up a meeting is simply click on their name, click meet, and it will immediately create a video chat between the two of you. But first, before we can do that, we actually have to add them as a contact. So to add them as a contact, we're going to go to this plus button right here. We're going to click plus and we're going to click add contact. So if I click add contact, all you have to do is enter the provided email address that they've given you. We're going to enter it in. You'll click add, and it will send them an email asking them to accept. So once they've gotten their email, they'll click on the provided link. It'll look very much like the email I showed you before. And once they've done that, they will actually immediately be then listed as a contact under this external option, and we will be allowed to meet with them directly. So once the chat starts, once all of that is passed, we're going to be looking at something like this. So this is what it looks like on our end. So where you see my face in this screen right here is where their image would be, and your actual image would be presented in the bottom right corner typically, although that can be adjusted. So here we have a number of options down here at the bottom, and this is going to be our main toolbar. Everything that we need is going to be right here. So mute, it allows you to mute your microphone if you wish. Stop the video, stop the video. They will no longer be able to see you, but they can hear you if you only select stop video. Invite if you wish to add additional people. If you have a group session, you can just click that and add another contact to bring into this video chat, although we likely won't be using that very often. Manage participants, we will not be using that whatsoever. It simply allows you to, again, add external people, set whoever the host is, whoever has like the main administration controls. You can kick people out of the chat. Again, we likely won't have to do that. So we won't really be using that menu very often. Share screen. So share screen is where we're going to have the majority of our sharing features. And so if we were to click on share screen, this is exactly the menu you'd be presented. So if I were to click that, let's maybe get out of this and go right over to share. I'd like to show you that. Here we go. So if you were to click that share button, it would look just like this. So here we can select any of these devices that we'd like to share. For example, if I were to share desktop, if you have multiple desktops, this would just enumerate all of them. I only have one. They will be able to see everything on your desktop. So everything that you can see when you're using your computer, they can then see everything. Please keep that in mind. If you select this option, they can see every single thing on your desktop. Nothing is hidden. Whiteboard is an integrated feature for writing directly if you have a stylus, or you can use your mouse to actually write out. So that's an option if we'd like to avail of that, if you want to keep everything hosted within the actual application. That being said, if you have any external devices where you can write directly on them, for example, I myself, since I'm using a Mac, I have an iPhone and an iPad, you can connect those displays either through AirPlay, which would be nothing more than selecting the screen mirroring option if you're running an iPad or an iPhone, or you can do it through cable. All you have to do is plug your USB directly into your computer. I prefer using AirPlay because it relies, although it relies on a wireless connection, I find it to be a bit more stable than the cable connection, surprisingly enough. Your browser, now here they cannot see everything on your screen. They will only be able to see your browser window. You will still see everything else on your screen, but they can only see your browser. Finally, this happened to pop up because I happen to have it open on my computer right now. Finder is just my search bar. There's no need to share that. But if you wanted to, it's there for you if you wish. So once you have shared whatever your respective device is, we would then be directed to a share toolbar that appears at the very top of the screen. And this is everything you'd be presented with. You have your meeting ID, we have the time that it's been running, you can stop the share. If you click stop, you will immediately cancel everything that the student can see. They'll be brought directly back to just viewing you on your own webcam. Just like you can probably see me in the corner right now. They will only see that. If we see here, we still have some of the same options as before: mute, stop video, manage participants. New share, you could share an additional screen. We probably won't be using that much, but you can just keep sharing and sharing and sharing more screens. Pause the share will temporarily pause what they can see. It won't stop it, it will just pause it so you can resume immediately from where you were. And this is a great option if you wish to continue switching back and forth between your display device and your actual webcam. Now, annotate is a very powerful option. Annotate is what allows the student to directly engage with whatever is presented on your screen. So if, for example, I were to share my iPad and I were to then click annotate, anything I write, they can then write underneath or anywhere on that screen. They can also directly engage. That's an excellent, excellent, excellent option if you wish to make these sessions as engaging as possible. And once you're done with everything, we can just click stop share and we'll be brought right back to our main screen just like this. So one thing that I'd like to point out additionally is for routing your audio. I know that that can be an issue for many people. So right here, if we go back, let me share my screen one more time and go back to my desktop. If we go back to this start of the chat, there's going to be an arrow to the right of the mute button. And that in particular brings us up with a number of options for how to route our audio. So as you can see here, this is what it would look like if we were to click on that. So here you can select whatever microphone you want. So by default, the built-in microphone would be whatever microphone is installed natively in your laptop, your iPad, iPhone, your desktop, anything that you might be using. And then the speaker is going to be the output. They also offer advanced audio settings here at the bottom. You can test the speaker and microphone. It'll just play a sound and allow you to hear if you are actually being heard and your display is being received on their end. So through all of that, that concludes the basics outlining how to use the Zoom web conferencing software. If anybody happens to have any additional questions for me, my inbox is always open. Please feel free to contact me with any questions, concerns, anything you feel I may have left out that's important to note. I can certainly add an update to this. With that being said, thank you very much for your time, and I hope everybody enjoys availing of this fantastic, useful, integrated experience. Thank you very much.